Scholars, welcome to the counselor's office. I'm Mr. Gaming Counselor, and we are back with another Doom-pocalypse. I just got out of the shower and it's like 12 o'clock at night and I'm recording before I go to bed. We're doing this short video for you. That's right, man. Yeah, and I say apocalyptic because that's what it feels like to be interested in anything Destiny, and it is coming out of the woodworks. Everyone's talking about how awful things are with Destiny, and it's interesting to see all the different feedback and just wonder that, and just the thought process that, you know, Bungie's not going to do anything at all with it, like nothing at all. It's just going to go out the ear, out the window, and then people are still going to somehow glaze the shit out of Marathon. But we'll see how that turns out for them. Bungie wants to literally piss everyone off before their new game comes off. Well, we'll see how that turns out, Chief. So we've got a video by Divide. That's right, it is a short video. It's 5 minutes. I'm sure it's gonna be chock full of information, but what the F just happened? Well, let's find out what happened. This is gonna be very interesting to see.
I'm gonna be honest, I know that Destiny 2 hasn't been in a good state for quite some time now. It's had its expansion releases, Edge of Fate in July, Renegades in December, and although those expansions had their player peaks peak lower each time, there's something else that feels more concerning than just a downward trend in peak and average.
By the way, this is gonna trigger people. But remember, we can pull up the population charts, and this is a trend that matches on the population charts, which includes all consoles and PC. There's no longer, thanks to the fine people who've actually dissected Destiny with the brainiacs, you can no longer say that this is no longer valid information. It is. It's called a trend. The more you know, kids.
Player counts. It's no lie that the Destiny 2 player base is declining year over year and month by month. We can see that trend consistently. We can feel that trend through various places like Destiny's LFG being less populated, Destiny communities being less populated, content creators including myself uploading less, or
what you'll notice is you're getting less and less views. In fact, I think the biggest is like Astcross is just jump ship to start playing other games because the viewage is going down the toilet, which is why I've really enjoyed playing other games. Yeah, the viewage has gone down, but it was going to go down anyways, so might as well go down talking about things that are a little bit more interesting, like Warframe or other games or other situations that are popping up. So solo Bright Dust Farm and Renegades, sure, that's satisfying to do. Anyways, as you can tell, that people are starting to feel the heat, and I'm glad that I don't make like guides or videos, and that's my because when the community starts giving less and less of a shit, the first people that go down the toilet are literally the guides, which is why they start going in panic mode, and some of them embrace it and some of them just straight up gaslight, like, guys, things aren't that bad. Which Divide doesn't look like they're doing that. At least it doesn't sound like they're going to panic mode and or gaslight mode. So
starting to move away and lose interest. Players like myself and probably you and your clan members and friends play less. I mean, if you go to your Destiny roster right now, it's probably dead. Tell me I'm wrong. Now that's understandable for a few reasons, right? True. The game isn't as fun as it used to be. There's less content.
Into the light, bro. That hurts my soul. By the way, seeing this as your main screen for Destiny, that hurts my soul too. We need to get back to this. This needs to return. This is the lifeblood of Destiny. Get back to this shit.
There's less to be excited for, and there's just tons of other great things to play right now. The thing is, this never used to be the case. In fact, it's gotten that bad that Bungie themselves pretty much don't even care either at this point. Look at the game in front of you. Look at the news in front of you. There's nothing. Each twab that goes by is just completely empty. You'll get the odd thing every now and again, but Destiny news.
I think this week, the most they did was they actually gave a free ornament and some free shaders, which is just mind-blowing that they did that. But did they give you like a special event for Valentine's Day? No.
is so dead.
What they did is they gave you bonus damage. They gave you bonus damage if you play with friends in the portal. That's exciting, isn't it?
Like we don't even get amazing twabs like we did back in the day, where they announce crazy things coming like 3.0 subclasses, Zuri works,
Man, those were the days.
And all that sort of stuff. You don't even get news about new content until it's pretty much thrown on top of you at this point.
Yep.
It's like they've lost all their funding of any kind of marketing or advertisement completely. The only things shown these days are new Eververse items, Bungie store stuff, or things unrelated.
If that isn't so fucking true, the only time that is when they want you to buy their shit. It is just advertisement to buy their shit, and that's it. Or Eververse, guys, Eververse, isn't that exciting? A new emblem, guys. We've got a new event that's doing absolutely nothing new. We're not getting any new loot, but you get an emblem. Isn't that exciting, guys? You get an emblem. Wow. Just new emblem. I'm glad that people are starting to just wean off the crack. Like Destiny, the biggest crackheads in the gaming universe are starting to sober up, and they're like, you know what? That's not Destiny. You know, an emblem that's new, that's fresh. Fuck you.
To Destiny 2, or they're related, but just kind of irrelevant in the sense that most average and long-term players just simply do not care. It's even rumored that the Shadow Order update for Destiny 2 might not even release at its planned date now because of Marathon. It's like Destiny is being pushed away so Marathon can have all the focus. We're now no longer important until Marathon can succeed for Bungie and Sony, and while it's frustrating to be pushed to the side, it's understandable. You want your new product to be the main focus and succeed.
It's not understandable because Bungie has literally told
when you have an
Bungie has actually come out and told people we can do both. We can run both. Like this whole and this is the company that's told people we need to rebuild trust. We need to build momentum. Like when you have a company that before this marathon even comes out has been building up and consistently parroting and saying this shit, like we need to build trust. We hear you. We're listening. When you have heard the same shit, you owe your current community the expectations that you've set. You owe them that. There is no understanding, oh, well, you have a new product. Bitch, you still have a product you're selling. It's like trying to go to McDonald's and you have like a Big Mac, and then it's like half cooked and you're trying to sell people a McRib. Like, guys, we've got this new McRib coming out. It's buy this, bitch. I just ordered a Big Mac and it's not even cooked. Like I bought this. I don't give a shit about the McRib. That's the only comparison. It's food. I don't know why. But you understand, like the whole process and thought is you are selling a product. People are consuming it. You have an expectation. There is a consumer contract as a business that if you sell something and it's live service, you need to keep said thing alive and provide a valid service equitable to the money that you are asking for people to spend. And if you're not providing that service, then you should just not do that. Especially when you're trying to sell another live service for the same amount, $40. Like, come on. Like PvP, come on. Everyone knows that PvP is the next in the chopping block because Gambit's already died off, even though Bungie said we're gonna think about bringing Gambit Prime back. Man, talk about one of the biggest lies that Bungie has said. We're bringing Gambit Prime back, or we're going to show some actual love to Gambit. Like, these are top lies. But again, this is $1 billion company. It is not reasonable to try to focus on a new product when you have an ongoing service. Like, that's not how you do business. Sure, you could do that as a shitty business, but it's not how you should do business. When you are selling a product, you are expected to continue to provide the normal service as you would anything else.
Franchise bleeding out excessively over time. The average monthly player count is on a rapid decline, and it's only getting worse. In fact, Bungie are willing to go so far to make sure that you purchase Marathon, and they're willing to go as far as just shoving it into the Eververse store as an expansion for Destiny 2. And no, I'm not joking.
It's
Someone
ridiculous.
told me it was in
This is not acceptable. It's not. If you want to make it a banner somewhere, but to put it in expansions, bro, that's slimy and bullshit. Especially when you have so much content in Destiny 2 that is an expansion that is still being sold for almost full price, and you're not even giving it for free, and it's now obsolete. 80% of the content in Destiny 2 is obsolete, and they've done nothing to bring it back into par, especially with the shitty portal. Like, bro, what are we doing here?
The Destiny Eververse store, so I had to boot up the game and see it with my own eyes, and it is really there. It's like Bungie
awful.
just no longer cares about Destiny at this point and only cares about Marathon. Trials is a mess, Iron Banner is nowhere to be seen, PvP overall is abandoned, yet somehow, someway, despite all the art thefts, the destruction of Destiny's PvP, somehow, Bungie are finally releasing a new PvP focused game that people are actually starting to get hyped about. And don't get me wrong, it looks great now, at least much better than it was a year ago. But what's to say that Bungie won't just abandon Marathon like they did with Destiny if
Oh my god, I've been screaming that. People having blind faith. Everyone's saying this is good. Bungie will never do this to Marathon. Things are going to be great. Like living in this delusion that you can separate Bungie from the art. That's that argument someone who has no brains have made. No, you can't separate the artist from the art, because the artist is the one that makes the art. And in this case, this isn't like just looking at a picture. This is playing and buying a product that is live service. That, imagine art that if they turn the lights off, it just magically disappears. Whereas actual art, it doesn't matter what you do, it's just there. It's until it's destroyed, it's there. But we're talking about live service where you turn off online, it's gone.
revenue doesn't hit their overvalued expectations years down the line. The real problem in the industry today isn't the game, it's the companies running them. Heck, You know what? It isn't even just the companies. It's the investors too, because for some reason, investors have no clue what actually makes a game good, since they'd rather pull their investments out of game companies that mostly create games with actual game designers, and instead throw their money into fully generated AI games, which is just the beginning. They think that this is more valuable than a hands-on experience created by professionals, and this is exactly what's wrong with today's society. It's all about money, all about greed, and nothing is about core quality for a fun, exciting, and polished game. It's why
gaming has become far too corporate, and now you're seeing backlash where people are out to murder games like this. And you know what? I don't blame them. When you have greedy ass companies that care nothing more than money, you are going to eventually see that people are not going to buy your shit, and you're going to suffer. And it's kind of nice to see a little bit of that happening. It's unfortunate for companies that do well and they get shut down because they made a good game, but it wasn't enough for profit margin, which I think is total bullshit. But for the ones out there where they're greedy or doing it for money and they weren't listening to their consumers, you know what? Get fucked. I don't feel bad for you. Like if Bungie got shut down, I would say get fucked. I would dance on your grave and say you deserved it. That's just how it is.
Indie games or games run by smaller companies or non-AAA studios are doing so well now because they actually care about their product and what their player wants. Arc Raiders as a clear example.
Exactly.
As another. It's quite funny when a game studio is acquired by a bigger company, the game just goes downhill. But when it's ran by the company that created the IP originally, they care. Mostly. Give the players what they want and the revenue will flow in. You can't just force it and do everything you can to milk their player base of every coin they own. It works in the short term, but it's not sustainable for a thriving live service game for years to come. You know, it never used to be this way. Bungie would run Destiny their own way, at least occasionally they did, but it's not just Bungie now owned by Sony, it's not just Call of Duty owned by Activision, owned by Microsoft, or Ubisoft, or Bethesda. All these game studios at one point made fantastic games.
If that isn't the true, like, this is not a Bungie only, like, this is a gamer-wide situation. Like, even Halo, like, obviously Bungie made, the old Bungie made Halo, but even 343 Halo Studios has been dropping the ball with Halo. And so you're seeing all these iconic franchises just either completely being abandoned because it doesn't make enough money, Splinter Cell, or they're just being used as, like, the corpse is being used to push whatever shitty fan fiction these unskilled Temu developers want to push out. And it's just like, no one wants this. Like, you took the name of something people loved and you bastardized it. And I think we're seeing more and more of that happen, especially in the movie and TV show, like Halo's. The Halo TV show was just awful. Luckily, Fallout, bless up, was a good one. But you're seeing in multiple instances where names are being used for a cash grab. It's like stolen valor, but they just do everything they can to just destroy that valor.
There's Fallout series getting Game of the Year, Call of Duty having the best years, Bungie having their most successful times, but the issue isn't the founding company of these IPs, it's the fact that there's a parent company higher up that expects more and management just becomes chaotic. A lot of these companies are doing fine with a happy player base when they weren't owned by a bigger company, and you can see that.
That's not kind of true for Bungie, but the problem is that Bungie, without a parent company, was greedy, and they tried to put their hands in so many pots. They were making so many projects, and that's what made them almost go bankrupt. Like, the reason why they sold themselves off to Sony wasn't because they couldn't handle it. Like, if they had focused on Destiny, they had been fine, but they jumped into Marathon. They jumped on all these other side projects because they got a little too, up in their head, thinking they're hot shit. And Microsoft wasn't wrong. Microsoft didn't want to buy Bungie because they had a high burn rate. And guess what? Guess what they did with all the money? They burned it. And so they had to sell themselves off to Sony. That's the reality. It's like they're just incompetent.
That now play out. Companies running today under a parent company like Microsoft and Sony are performing so poorly versus companies that are free, not owned by anyone. Hightail almost went through that fall by not even launching when Riot acquired them, but thankfully the game was sold back to the founder and its future can't look more promising. As long as these huge giants are in charge of smaller studios, I don't think games, at least many of them, will do well and outperform in the long term. It's a shame that the gaming industry is the way it is today, and I think things are only going to get worse from here on out over the coming years, at least until things become more stabilized. Just my thoughts, what do you all think?
I think Bungie's going to try to murder this franchise into the ground, and I think overall, I think live service games, outside of the small pop-ups like Arc Raiders, outside of that, I do see more live service games dying. I think more people are going to push for single player games or co-op games or indie games in general. I think we're going to see more of we're going to see a decline in the desire of live service. I truly do. And I think we're seeing it already. Especially when you push out live service games that no one fucking asked for, or the live service games that are adapting, like Call of Duty. We'll see how Halo does it. Can Halo come back to the former glory? We don't know. We know we're getting the remake, which is only single player focused, or co-op focused, should I say, but it's not really going to have a multiplayer. There's supposed to be a future Halo PvP game out there somewhere. In general, this isn't a Bungie only, but I do think Bungie is at the tip of the iceberg because they have had more on-hands experience with this specific community with this one game, and they choose to squander any and all goodwill that they can get from this community down the toilet. And so, you know, you get what you fucking deserve. You play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. You fuck around, you find out. And I think Bungie will, if karma exists, Bungie will find out. That's all I gotta say. But I don't want Destiny to fall. And here's the reality: if Bungie falls, this fallacy that Destiny will go away, no. The saving grace is that Sony spent $3.6 billion on Bungie. There's no way they're just gonna get rid of Destiny. I think that if anything, they'll maybe, hopefully, give it to another studio or let another studio do something with it, like how Tencent's doing Destiny Rising. And Destiny Rising itself is proof in the pudding that another studio can run the Destiny IP successfully and make it new, fresh, and give players what they want. Especially if it wasn't a mobile game, if it was a full-fledged AAA game, imagine. Especially since people were praising Destiny Rising for making a better version of Crota's End. So that's my thoughts. Let me know what you think down below. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.